Alright! Welcome in, everybody! I'm Fiera Luna, and I play games on the internet! If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back! Today, we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations, where we get to be Edgeworth! The best! Welcome in, Val! Hi, John! We're about to go be Edgeworth again, with his magic power of basic logic. It's a great power to have in a world like this, where it doesn't really work.
The murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yadagarasu. Thinking back, everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago.
Edgeworth, why are you laying next to a pool of blood, honey? Oh, okay, that's wine. That's fine. That's less terrifying. Anyway, why are we flashing back to two... Go you! Amazing.
Yes, everything began high up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise.
Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We are asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Oh, it's one of these. I know what's happened here. I know we've been bonked on the noggin, but I'm gonna level with you. It looks like we've just had a bit too much to drink. Like, Edgeworth's just passed out in here like, I can't believe I lost another case to write. What's happening? Am I losing my touch? Wow. 9,000 feet in the air. But no, we were bonked on the noggin. We'll get this fixed up. Fear I suddenly need to draw that. Good. Also, tonight's snack is chili. It's got chorizo sausage and chicken. And mushrooms and carrot. And it's tomato based, because of course it is. And lots of cheese, because I accidentally put too many peppers in it. I put them in, and I was like, "Oh, these are the nice little chili peppers." I missed the word Thai at the beginning of them, and that they were Thai chilies. And those little red guys look almost exactly like the little red guys that I put in that are chili peppers, but they are several orders higher on the Scoville scale. So anyway, I'm eating it anyway with lots of cheese so that I don't hurt myself. It's really good, Del.
Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? 6:13. Huh. Guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Huh. Slight turbulence indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
I suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Though admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. What's this? A travel wallet? But it's not mine. How did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? My head. Why won't this headache go away?
Here lies Hugo Hughes. I love that. That's good.
I'll take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator?
This man needs so many hugs. He's not okay. Welcome in, Mr. Mossy. I see you've changed your name again. You've been through a lot of names this year. That's okay. Sometimes the Fae folk will get you like that, and you have to change your name again.
What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one.
Gosh darn it, every time!
What the?
Edgeworth can't catch a break with elevators. He cannot catch a break. This poor man. He has been trying so hard, you guys. He's like, no, I'll face my fears. I'm a grown-up. I will act like one. And lo and behold, no, he won't. We're ruining him. This poor man.
What in the world happened?
Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask that you please return to your seat. Eek! He's dead!
Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts.
What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer!
What? No! No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me.
I love how Lupin the Third is on our flight. Look at us down in the corner! Or rather, a Lupin the Third lookalike over there. Look at us down in the corner also. We're so mad. We're not even in a baby harness. We're just handcuffed like that. I love it. We got Lupin the Third, that kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Augustus, that's his name. And a guy who is way too frightened to be here. Children don't usually be murderers, so I suppose we can rule Augustus Gloop out. I don't know what his actual name is. We'll see. We'll see if maybe he is a murderer. You'd be a really good paralegal. Paralegals are lawyer supports. Their whole job is find information and bring that information to the lawyer. Fear, does Edgeworth need some therapy from my dredge slosher? Yes. He needs therapy for a lot of reasons. I really like her hair. I'm impressed by the cool boxes she put it in. I know there's like a hair form under there, but that's really cool. Everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tinero. Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse and it was a murder. What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So until we are out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there's no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. We're so mad about it.
I ask that everyone please remain calm.
heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm?
My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer.
Ha! Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy.
Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body.
So you say, however. I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant.
Oh, is that right?
I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up.
What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about?
We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Until we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation.
Your situation? I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in.
This is the third time Edgeworth has been effectively on trial for murder. If we count DL6 again. And I do.
I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it?
She looks like that girl who's always with Mr. Right. Yeah, she does look a little bit like Maya. Oh, his frilly thing? His little neckerchief thing? I think they just call it a cravat throughout this game, regardless of what it's actually called. Of course David Tennant's aggressive in Broadchurch. I haven't seen Broadchurch, I will say, but I've been Tumblred to the plot. So I know zero things about it except that David Tennant's in it and he got that look. Yes?
I was wondering if you might give me a chance.
A chance? To do what?
A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside of you really call this action righteous?
I love how we're playing this. I know. It's like, this is the most anime move we could make. You have a point. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick.
Of course. As you wish.
Good. Very well then. Let's get started.
I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred.
I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator... Look at her tug her little scarf. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon.
That was, not a murder weapon, and also it was wine.
So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land.
That's it? That's her evidence?
I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth?
Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it.
I actually need... I need that. Can I just present this? That's wine, not blood. That's what I was holding.
Miss Tenero.
Well, what's all the yelling all of a sudden?
Force of habit.
Well, it doesn't matter. He really did yell objection. Oh, Edgeworth, honey. You are on a very small plane. You don't have to yell across the will of the court to be heard. Oh no. This poor man. His whole life is court. Oh no, Rickrolled. Oh no. The most harmless prank. At a certain point, I just expected every cool, fun thing to be a Rickroll. And yes, we can do fractals if you want, Val. Take you to a T4. But don't forget you have school in the morning. Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Tenero, you say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct?
Yes, all that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine.
Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you.
What?
I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is?
It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky.
The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenero.
What? Impossible!
Now then, do you still think I'm the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet?
I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did.
As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice.
The English has to call it grape juice. Then.
That's right. You mistook grape juice for blood.
This is a lot better when it's wine. Oh no, I'm calling it grape juice. I'm gonna call it grape juice same way I call it milk. It's funnier this way. Like, she's just like, I saw you with a murder weapon. Oh yeah, milk is the old-timey way of censoring beer and other alcohol in Final Fantasy and stuff. In fact, there is a reasonably famous scene amongst folks who are into that kind of thing from Final Fantasy Tactics that Ramza orders milk from the milk bar. Why do all the other countries get cooler stuff? It's just how it is. If you guys really want to know why censorship is the way it is in America versus other places, it's because of what society values. You can tell a lot about what society values by what it allows children to see. So the censorship in America is different because they have different values than the other one. Like than other places. Oh, it's not pink milk, it's pink water. We know that.
The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist.
No!
There, that should clear up that pesky accusation.
Wait just a sec. Yeah, JP versions of games are a little bit different because they don't censor things like that usually. They censor other things instead. So like if you get a game that's that would be rated T for teen in the States, you'll still see references to alcohol censored. Oh, and actually Bravely Default is a really good example of this. You'll see a lot of censorship around the outfits, but you won't see any censorship around the violence. You'll see those little girls that were just there for fairy wings that definitely did not make it. And stuff like that. But you'll see, and that's all fine. That doesn't have to get censored down anymore. But you'll still see that the Bravo bikini outfit has more clothing in it than the JP version. And all the characters are aged up. Because a dia in Japan is 15. Or Fire Emblem with Smash. Welcome in, Raymond. Alright, let's go.
Well, wait just a sec. That is, I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand that you show me what's inside, please. She's trembling, and the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of the wallet for myself. She's a persistent one. I suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Tenero, if you'd be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. All right. I usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. It seems that the passport is all that's in here. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. This renders your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree?
No, apparently not. Wow, she really wants this wallet to be the murder weapon. Hey, Fiera Luna, how are you today? Ooh, I'm actually having a really good day. I got a lot of recording done for YouTube. Because they do a Let's Play a day for everybody over there. Oh, and I've got tasty chili. It's great. Fiera made something in side order called Dome Percent. What is Dome Percent? That sounds fun. I must know what the speed run is. Also, I found out something that surprised me, and that is that nobody speedruns Enigmatus. Somebody speedran the first one, but nobody does the other two. You know what that means? About to try to get a speedrun record. 2 of them even. I'm gonna make a guide for it. Yeah, just for the world record for like 5 minutes. No one will take it from me. They will. They will because I'll do it. I'll sit there and I'll do it, and then they'll be like, what's this? And I'll be like, You pick Fry's palette and get the worst build and beat the Spire in under 60 minutes. Oh, I get it, because of your forehead. Ace Attorney Games be like, instead of let me smash, it's like, yes. It's like my class, holding wine and champagne glasses, as you do. Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it now?
Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself.
This is Ackby Hicks. Republic of Virginia. Oh! Oh, you guys don't know where this is, I think, but...
This is...
Just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. Ackby Hicks, which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you?
How dare you!
You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Again! Wah! Stop accusing me of murder! Yeah, Virginia is, so you guys don't know where these are yet because it's in a different Phoenix Wright game, but, Virginia is one of these countries that, like East Germany and that kind of stuff. Virginia is the kind of country that would show up in a game like Papers, Please. Yeah, you get it. They're very closed off. If I'm remembering this correctly, I'm pretty sure that's the one from, it's from one of the Apollo Justice games that it comes up. Can't remember which one, but I think it's the first one, actually. Mm. Mm. When can we see Von Karma again? Franziska's in this game. So you will see her again. I think it's chapter 3 or 4. As you claimed, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks's money, weren't you? Why? There isn't any.
So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see.
You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? I want Ace Attorney, but it's a crossover between YouTubers or famous people in general. Actually, there's an Ace Attorney Professor Layton crossover, which is probably the closest we're going to get to something cool like that, which I will play for all of you at some point, because I like it.
What have we got for presenting?
Can we present this? And be like, look, there's money all over the ground? Can I present this and just be like, there's money literally all over the ground?
I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Tenero.
What is it now?
Miss Tenero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's simply impossible that the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this crime scene would prove that the motive for murder was not money?
Why, it's the money all over the darn ground. Can I just pick any money? I'm gonna pick some money. I guess we'll start there.
If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor.
Ah! Aww. Mozzie it is. Fair, what is 3 wishes? I don't know offhand? I keep seeing it in my feed when I search Splatoon. Ow. Oh! I know what it is. 3 Wishes is the song. I remembered now. It's the song with all 7 of them. Where each of their different leitmotifs comes in. Ah, it's Val, back again!
That's right, the floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, these were the things the killer was after.
Ah!
I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer, and I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money.
But, the wallet...
Ah, yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks's passport.
Ah!
If you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, then you're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet.
Forgive me, please. She's such a cutie. I accidentally got spoiled to the ending of this case. Stop being spoiled to the ending of this case. Oh, you looked up the country, didn't you? And that's what got you spoiled. What the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? So this guy isn't the killer? Ha! Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick.
Will you all please be quiet? Ms. Tenero.
Yes?
You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark, and looking into the light from the elevator, it's easy to see how you mistook the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you for releasing me.
This man's saying something in a foreign language. That's how this is represented. It's probably English.
What is it now?
Yep. Good luck. Those wingdings, I think, are translatable, but I don't know what they say.
Miss De Niro, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I said that he is giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just as well. See? You, the attendant.
Yes, sir.
I want this person to be under arrest when we arrive at the airport. I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking with the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear you why you would like me to be held under arrest when we land. You! How dare you waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I want to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent! Yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Well, I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc, too. I am a very wealthy man in the Borginia. But I am not an ordinarily rich man. Oh, sorry. But I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty.
Wingdings doesn't automatically mean it's Gaster. It's the font. It's a font that was made long before Undertale. That's true. It was spoken Borginian. Fair enough. That's what spoken Borginian looks like. What a writing system they must have. Now I call it Wingdings because I remember Microsoft Word's Wingdings. Word doesn't remember Wingdings apparently though. My golly. The amount they try to forget that font. That font was amazing. It was from before you had really cool characters like like it was before you had things like an IME keyboard and stuff that would support it. Oh no, I know. I like having little bits of lore. Real life lore. Facts, if you will. I know what you are, and I cannot allow it. Shah! Yeah, someday we'll see Hornet again. Silk Song will come out one day. Not this day, but one day. All right, see you soon, see you soon, Mozzie. You know, we haven't looked in his luggage. Oh yeah, we know when Silk Song is coming out in the year 8,019,182. Yeah, that sounds right. Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now?
Pardon?
When you said Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout.
I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. I do not have even a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. Yes, and yet you continue to blather on. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go down the elevator. Going down to the lounge. It was at exactly 6 o'clock. And what's the significance of this time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6?
Ah! What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see. Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15. Ah!
Hicks was his name, was it? Then I say this man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor, yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too, I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice.
I was still eating. Still haven't finished yet. See?
The other passengers have an alibi, so you have no problem with them, I suppose? No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this, right? I have no... I have no way of discounting what you have to put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. But, do you have, what you say, the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all?
Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw, enough to give testimony? Of course! I was looking at that man the whole time. I was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? It was making me crazy with the click, 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 click. From that description, it sounds like some sort of small computer.
I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself.
A simple cell phone? A laptop or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Miss Tenero.
Yes?
I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene.
What? You want to examine the crime scene?
If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English. It's Fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Tenero, if you wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then.
I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say.
Ha! This should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made only by the captain alone. Now please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back.
Look at her run off with that cute little run! What a cute little run!
Oh, she's got the cute little hands.
But when will we get Teacher's Quest? I want Quirrell game. I would love a Quirrell game, if I'm being honest. Like, I want to know what Quirrell was doing before. Like, Quirrell left. I want to know what that was like.
Where did he go? What did he do while he was there?
Will he be in Silk Song? He won't. That's not. The game made it clear what happens to him, I think. And I admittedly feel a little bad for him. Mm-hmm. So let's vamoose. Or skedaddle. Whichever is faster. And then Max jumps in the car and goes, vamoose! And that was Sam and Max. You guys will see that eventually. It's not up yet. That's because skedaddle's full of fun word sounds. Double consonants in English are great sounds for words to have. Things like skedaddle. Also, the double G sound is a delight.
double G followed by L usually. Wiggler, jiggler, all those ones. Great words. 10 out of 10 mouthfeel. Can I explain why? Absolutely not. But they are fun.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not.
Ha!
We will see.
Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable! I'm in your debt, Miss Tenero.
However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural, as I am still a suspect in this case.
I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to use X to talk to.
It's time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. I wish to talk to this man.
Don't get near me, you criminal! He said, don't get near me, you criminal.
I'm not the killer, and I intend to prove that starting now.
But that's contrary to the facts! He says, but that's contrary to the facts.
I can understand his English just fine. Thank you very much. Alright, youth. If I may have a word with you.
This steak, so awesome.
That's great to hear. However, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
I was here the whole time, so I wouldn't know.
Either speak. Please pick one.
Never! Ooh! Munch, 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 munch. So many munch, munch, munch. Num, 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 num. I think he chose to eat.
Yes, I can hear that.
Hey, miss, how about another glass?
Excuse me, but I was wondering if you know anything about the murder.
How about it? How about a glass together?
Sorry, but I must decline.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was asking the cute attendant. I'm sorry, but I'm on the clock right now. But if you need a refill, I'd be happy to bring you another glass at any time. You got it, toots.
That's no way to talk to a lady.
Thanks, Edgeworth.
I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Tenero.
It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota.
I see. I will bear that in mind.
I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that. We reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time.
So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board?
I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff keycard. And we found no record of a keycard being used at all.
She looks so nervous saying that. Which means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Now then, let's get started.
But where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements.
But what if it wasn't a passenger? What if it was the other flight attendant? Or this flight attendant that we're talking to? Could have been anybody. TBH, part of me feels like LeBlanc is a red herring. But the rest of me is like, what if it was him? Good. I've played this game before, but I haven't played it in a long time, and I can't remember how it goes. I like saying coefficient in a very fancy voice. It started because of a joke in math class, and now it's sort of a stim. Oh, no. Yeah, like, LeBlanc is really mad. TBH, I'm like, LeBlanc is a red herring, and the child definitely didn't do it. So that leaves Mr. Wineglass, and, don't come near me. And, don't come near me seems way too obvious. But at the same time, I'm like, this is this game. Or this man tripped and fell anyway in the elevator. Just clonked his noggin and didn't get back up. Nobody killed him. I'm glad your math class is good. No, somebody definitely killed him. The Yatagarasu! Nah, I'm making jokes. I don't remember how that went, actually. I just remember the Yatagarasu being very important. He looks like he got a cool dip dye, but that's just blood.
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself.
Did you know that math teachers in my district have to teach both my grade and the grade above mine?
That's bonkers. I hope they're okay. Which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere.
If we are to believe what you say is true, then yes.
The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. What floor does this elevator service?
Only the first and second. Although, it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So the only floors accessible to passengers are the first and the second, huh? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
Oh yeah, he says that for all of them.
What's this sinister-looking figure on the floor here?
Oh, that's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Yugo. Oh, he's a little guy. Look at him. It's one of the many pieces of merchandise we sell at our in-flight shop. This bank is a limited edition, and is so popular that we're down to our last one.
You have an in-flight shop?
Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight and up until Mr. Hicks's body was discovered.
There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon?
Our killer's hiding in the shop.
Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hick's wallet at some point. I wonder what was hanging off this lanyard. Something's missing from this picture. Now, if I could just put my finger on it. I doubt anyone was expecting to find a dead body in the elevator on this flight. So Mr. Hicks...
So Mr. Hicks, he is really dead?
Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that, because there is a corpse right there.
Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes.
I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyway, I should try to focus on the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the back of Mr. Hicks's head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard.
I want to look in his pocket.
Even his glasses are broken. Oh. Oh, that couldn't have happened from this position. There's something sticking out of his pocket. I hope he won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture.
Cell phone! His little beep beep beep. His little beep 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 box. He looks so grumpy to be there, too. That's a museum. That's an art museum. Oh boy! Is he... Sir, are you some kind of, like, art museum? Are you, like, an art thief investigator guy? Did you get killed by an art thief? How big is this airplane? It's large. There are airplanes like this. They're not very common, but they do exist. And they're quite large indeed. They take a lot of fuel to run. But there are airplanes like this. There's even an airplane, at least, with an elevator in it. You won't see them here very much. Because we're more interested in moving a lot of people very quickly. But you will see them. I'm thinking about my future, and honestly, I just want to have a job that lets me help other people. Because it's what I'm good at. Good! Then start looking into the helping professions now. Things like medicine, and, like, therapy type stuff. Paralegal is a good one. That's a support. Stuff like that. Gosh. I'm hard-pressed to think of the others. There's a lot of them, though.
Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
I think it is, but I feel like I wanted to do that one instead and be like, I know what's missing now. Sure hope these fit together. I think I'd be fine as a paralegal. I'm very observant and stuff, but I don't know. Well, Val, you know how I'm like, get me the wiki. And you're like, got it. And it takes you like 2 minutes? Tops? Even when it's really weird and rare and obscure? Surprise! A paralegal's job is that. It's like, a lawyer will go and be like, you there, look me up all of the facts about water and pipes in this area in the last 25 years. But not the 26th year. Can't use that. And then that's what you do. And you come back and you'll be like, here's everything. I've sorted it by relevance. And also, there's this one thing that is from 26 years ago, but it's really 25 because of the way dates work. And it wasn't really installed until then, but the paperwork's older, so I don't know if this works for you, but if it does, it's here too. Yeah, you do that. There's other stuff you do as a paralegal, but I can't remember all of it because you only get to see the cool stuff. If that's a thing you're interested in because you like data and stuff, there you go. Good news. Paralegals don't normally have to go in the courtroom. Most paralegals are used for civil cases anyway. So like they're used for like lawsuits and stuff. So nobody's a crimbobinal in those. Nobody does criminals. Nobody's criminal. They don't do crime in those ones. Like, sometimes they do wrong things, like not put a sign when there's a wet floor, but they don't do crime. So it's different. Uses common sense. Yeah, exactly. That's what this game is. Edgeworth's just out here like, I have the power of basic logic.
A statue of blood on it. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out.
Yes? What is it?
The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head.
Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of the Obvious title?
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think it's worth investigating?
It would appear that this figurine is our murder weapon.
Oh, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of any other connection.
Perhaps Master of the Oblivious would have been more befitting.
I feel like the killer was in the elevator. But, like, how? I'll think about that later. Because I think I can deduce on this. Oh. Hopefully.
Mr. Hicks' machine is nowhere to be found.
His machine?
Uses constructive criticism and logic.
Yes, that's his power. You've got to remember, Phoenix uses spirit mediums and a magic truth-telling amulet that forces people to tell the truth. Apollo has a magic bracelet where he can tell if somebody is lying and also force them to tell the truth. And Edgeworth's power? Thinking about it real good. Yes, that is what a paralegal does, Val. That is exactly what they do. See, you're doing it already. The paralegal assists with case planning, development, and management, legal research, interviews clients, gathers facts and retrieves information, drafts and analyzes legal documents, and collects, compiles, and utilizes technical information to make recommendations to an attorney. That's exactly it. The other job that you might like, if you don't want to do something like that, is librarian. But paralegal is also pretty solid. Anyway, we hydrate as chat demands. Because librarian has a lot of that fetching of information and stuff. But it also isn't related to, like, the law. You just have to know systems and stuff like that. A lot of books going on there. Alright. We hydrate as chat demands. Oh, and a big stretch. Big stretch. Yeah, it's about knowing stuff that's organized. It's about being able to, when somebody comes in and goes, I don't remember the title, but the cover was blue and there was like a really big full moon on it. But it wasn't about werewolves. And I'm not sure what it's called. Do you know what the book is? I can see you working in law. But if you can't, that's what's important. Anyway, we will start with shoulder presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did it. Chat's making me get strong. Someday I will be the strongest. The strongest octopus. I'm gonna move the top of my tank. You'll never see it coming. I'm gonna go into the sea. We'll move the tank top and go into the sea. His machine?
His cell phone, Miss De Niro.
Yeah, you could become an actual archivist. That's a pretty cool job, too. Ah, so I guess because it's not here.
Yes. I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it.
The killer did take it, and I bet I know where it is.
Okay. Wait. There's no grape juice residue on the soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely that Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence.
Or exited.
Ah. Okay, anything else here?
Oh, there's literally nothing interesting about that specific point.
Okay. I think...
These counter windows offer a glimpse of the sky, but these clouds, they tell me nothing. Mr. Edgeworth? You look like you're talking to the clouds.
Is that so? Then tell me, what do you suppose I said to them?
I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation.
The clouds, they tell me nothing.
Hey, why is this cabinet open?
These bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area.
Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear any suspicions I have about you.
I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name. This door leads to the flight attendant's room.
But please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel.
The room is giving off the scent of women's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great. However, it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door.
Edgeworth! Edgeworth, you're not beating the Rightworth allegations. Man, you are not beating those allegations.
Mr. Edgeworth? Sorry, I spaced out for a second there.
Hearing him say phrase like spaced out is so weird. Because it's such a normal thing to say.
This grand piano is the pride of this plane. I can play the music of whatever CD we inserted into this... Oh, whoops, I thought Edgeworth was... never mind.
This grand piano is the pride of this plane. It can play the music of whatever CD we inserted into its CD drive.
That's not a piano. That's more like an overgrown music box.
But it's keys to press along with the music, as though there really is someone playing it.
Some people have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys.
Edgeworth, that's impolite.
This toppled over chair. Yet another victim of the turbulence.
Ah, no! Look at all that grape juice staining the back. I may not look it, but that chair was extremely valuable.
It was?
Yes. It was used when the Rocker Pals came to tour this plane. The Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair.
I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals?
I can't believe you've never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. They added the pals part as they became more popular, especially among teens.
Ah, that explains it. I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get.
The in-flight shop is just beyond these shutters. But we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid I must leave them closed.
There must still be clues to be found here in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant. There's some spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. I assume it was spilled during the turbulence.
Footprints! Oh, we must clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I love that like half the community thinks Phoenix is ace because he's the ace attorney. You know what? Edgeworth or Nick can be my president. I honestly feel like they're more qualified than any politicians. Plus the suits are fabulous. Lol. They, I don't think either of them would be particularly good at it, but still. Fair enough. Fier! I forgot. Okay. Well, that's how it is.
I found some very important evidence. What is the important piece of evidence in this scene?
Is it the footy prints?
What is it? They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree these are a set of footprints.
So you think...
Yes, these belong to our killer.
Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in first class.
I don't think that will be of any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match.
Oh, I see. Besides, they clearly go that way.
What or who is this?
This is a bronze statue of the founder of Go U Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes. The one on the left... Oh. The one on the left is when he was in his 40s, and the other is of him in his 80s.
Did the man age at all over those 4 decades? Maybe I need to squint more.
I mean, he aged enough to have different shadow textures.
Glasses and candles thrown into disarray by the turbulence.
It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. It's terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut off.
I guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it.
Probably for the better. Alright, ice bucket. Ice bucket? I want to examine ice bucket. But... well, I guess ice bucket qualifies as... okay, I feel like... these have to go together. Right? Yeah, okay. Also, Pierre, so remember how there's an inscription ref in pressure, right? Yeah? I found a video of it and I wanted to show you, but then I forgot to send it. Oh! I'm sorry.
True, there wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then that's a different story. If only I could prove that the killer rode the elevator with Hicks.
I think I can, actually. I have it. I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder.
What? Really?
Yes. It's rather simple, actually. The proof is in the pudding, or rather, the grape juice in this case.
In wine there is truth.
These footsteps here confess to me this very fact, that someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as how the victim is dead, that would mean a second person.
But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself?
Ah, but if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you could see the soles are spotless.
Which means...
Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside this elevator.
Oh, and something being dragged. What did he have with him?
What's going on over there?
LeBlanc's yelling in Borginian. Poor girl. Her hair is so messy. Unforgivable. This is unforgivable. Do you understand what I am saying? The movie is late. It is the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late.
But the movie...
What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time.
What's the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? If there is no emergency, please return to your seat, sir.
Do not tell me what to do. I need not sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet?
If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense. Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken?
Not mistaken. Merely that there is room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine. Suit yourself. I'm certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. The body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal. Oh yeah, we know exactly what to press on here.
Mr. LeBlanc's conclusions seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the supposed time of murder was me.
So, my eyewitness testimony, you think you can destroy it? Then come, let me see. Hurry! Do I look like a man who is having the time to wait for you?
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyway, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast.
Wait, Poe's just hanging out in the black site and pressure? That's a delight. I'm glad. I'm glad the funny robot's in the black site. Not gonna read it again. I'm just gonna, like, scroll straight through. These things are all true. This we want some footprints for. Oh. Mr. LeBlanc, your testimony now... Wait, what? Really? Wait, really? Wow? Okay, I'm ahead of the game, I think. Can I present it here? I really want to present these footprints! Like, he definitely did. Leshy's camera's in there too? Hey! Flight itinerary! Drinks! Hey, there's a movie at 6 o'clock. All times correspond to our departure time zone. That's fun! Wait. Oh, that's probably something useful for later. I just want to be able to say there was somebody else in the elevator. Does this present here? I guess we'll see. No. Then what do I want? Fine.
Mr. LeBlanc, you were able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at that time? Of course! I saw what was inside. And you are sure that the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes! The only person inside was that Hicks man. This last outburst is a bit too important to let go. The only person inside was that Mr. Hicks man. Can I present it now? I really want these footprints to be present. I forgot to press. I did the thing where I forget to press because I know the answer to the question, but Edgeworth doesn't have a way to answer the question really well. You gotta do the thing that lawyers have to do where they set the scene, where they're like, okay, this is certainly where they're sitting there with, like, the gun and the bullet and the ballistics evidence, and they've gotta be like, okay, so, you all know what a gun is, right? And they have to start from there, because sometimes that's how it is. Mr. LeBlanc. What is it? There's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony. What do you mean? Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, at the spilled grape juice. Yes, and? Will you admit you also spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is that the set of grape juice footprints... Footprints? Yes, the one that leads from the elevator out into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. No! There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Borginian that we can't read. Presumably that says you! But I don't know what the rest of it would say. Can you please translate for us? No way. That's totally impossible, I guess is what he said. Darn, she looks like she is going to fall asleep. She even has a little teddy bear. And yeah, she's getting the Valley Girl accent. I am so sorry for all of your losses. I'm so sorry. She's getting the sleepiest Valley Girl accent. Why is her chest so exposed? She is a flight attendant. No way! That is totally impossible. I know there is no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes. If you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. But then what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? Wait! She said it goes down to the cargo hold, but only staff can go down there, right? So he wasn't alone in the elevator. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time over and over again. It happened to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me. And I saw clearly that into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside. No one! Doesn't seem dress code compliant. Well, that's because her top part isn't fastened on. Like, Taniro would have an exposed chest too if she hadn't fastened her top, like, little shirt part on. Mr. LeBlanc, if you would please calm down. What? Dare you two to have an issue with my eyewitness testimony? No, not at all. Please, forget I said anything. Yet again, he doesn't appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. I guess we'll have to remember to push people.
Hold it.
So are you still upset now? I'm always upset! The only time I am not is when I have a piece of art to hold in my hands. It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him. But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me. I was always checking the time over and over again. Why? That's weird. Why were you so attentive to the time? Because something unforgivable was happening. Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier. I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back my time, in money. You understand the point? Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? A summary of the plot and its start time. Interesting. Yeah, it's supposed to start at 6, but all times are in the departure place. What is this knockoff King George III clown? Actually, he's more a knockoff Borgia. And he is... I don't know how to explain LeBlanc. He's wild. He's an art dealer from Borginia, which is a vaguely European place in Phoenix, right? That is kind of closed off to the outside. It's probably Eastern Bloc. Like, the way that they talk, the way that people are from there, it's probably Eastern Bloc. And probably closer to the south than, like, the north part of that. But who knows? It's one of those places that you'd find in a place in a thing like Papers, Please, where it's got like very East German vibes. They were supposed to show License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. I cannot see that movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I looked forward greatly to that movie. I checked my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board. So my watch is not wrong and matched the schedule. But the movie was still late. Very, very late. Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about it, if that's alright. The movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket watch many times. My watch is set to my destination's time. I always set it when I'm aboard the plane. All times correspond to our departure time zone. I'm so good at this! We don't set the watch until we get off the plane! That's how it works! Till we get off the plane or we get off the boat. Because it's always in your departure zone's time. You don't change it until you get where you're going. That's how it works. You come over on the boat. Wait, no. First, the house you live in gets people in it that aren't the people you're used to seeing, because, you know, the guy that fished you up is gone now. And so is his brother, so it doesn't really belong to anybody. Then you get weird people in it. And then those weird people are gone. And then different weird people come by, and they're like, darn, this is terrible, we're removing this tank. Oh, hey, there's something inside. And then even more weird people come by and go, that's scientifically interesting. And then they take you out of the tank. And then you go on a little adventure where it's dark for a little while and it's nice, but it's kind of cramped. And then you end up across the ocean in a foreign country. And then you get here. That's how it works. But you don't set your watch until you get here, because otherwise you have it wrong. Things like Papers, Please, and That's Not My Neighbor, and stuff like that, I have a really hard time with. Because, like, I want to make the right decisions, but it's really hard in those games, and the decisions I would make are really difficult. I think I'd find That's Not My Neighbor a little bit easier, because, like, that's not too bad. But Papers, Please is really rough.
Papers, Please is a game where you have to decide if the person at the gate is allowed through or not. And if you let the wrong person through, they'll do a terrorism. They might explode. Like, they might be trying to bomb the place next door. They might be trying to, like, bring guns in or something. They might be doing all sorts of things. Or maybe just because bureaucracy is the way it is, their travel permit is messed up. Or their work permit doesn't have quite the right thing on it. Or they just got married and their last name's not quite right. Or they have a hard to spell name or something. That's the sort of thing that happens in Papers, Please, and I'm really bad at that. Because I don't want to err on the side of caution. I want people to be truthful, and I want it to be that they're just like, oh, oops, that's what it... Like, I want that to be what it is, really badly. So I'm bad at Papers, Please. That's Not My Neighbor is a little easier because they're mutants and they want to eat you. So, you know, deciding who to let in isn't too hard.
Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony.
I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came on board.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination.
Yes, and the correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I'd like you to take a look at this. If you believe the Sky magazine, clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Ms. Teniro, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now?
Well, we made a short stop at a transfer point.
That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Zhangfa.
Oh boy. My pronunciation of pinyin is questionable at best. Hang on.
Zhang.
Yeah, Zhangfa. That's as close as my mouth is gonna get. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now, we are still running on Borginian time. What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule.
What?
Further, with your analog watch set to our destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1,000,000 cents on that. In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m.
What? 1,000,000 cents!
This should clear up all the remaining accusations. So this basically
widens the time frame for the time of death, right?
Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m., it means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15.
She looks like she is already sleeping. Like, that poor girl is asleep on her feet, and she definitely probably did a murder. And that's why she's, like, underdressed. I'm willing to bet that's what's happened here.
The question now is, where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing?
Murder naps! We love murder naps! Welcome in, Rice! Murder naps are our favorite things. Listen, you do a murder, and then it's really hard. It takes so much energy, you gotta do a nap about it. Why else do you think Jason picked Friday the 13th to do murders on? He's gotta do a little nap about it. You know what we should do for Halloween? Guys, you know what we should do for Halloween? I should have the VIP lounge get to do some horror movies. I have a lot of horror movies that we could watch. Some of them are old classics from the 80s, and some of them are like good ones from the now, like Harbinger Down, which is really good and I love it a lot. You know, like The Thing from the 80s? Harbinger Down is all practical effects, and it's just that, but on a boat. But it's really good. I don't know how to explain how it's really good. It's like it's made fairly recently too, and I'm very excited by it. They read the assignment. We have so many movies. I think I still have Shudder. If I still have Shudder, we have so many things we could do. Whee! I could show you guys fun movies from far away. I could show you what it looks like when you, horror movies look like when they're in places that, have very strict rules about stuff. Thai horror is some of the best stuff around because they can't show anything. And, like, the stuff that they do show, they have to be really picky about, but that makes it so much better. I do not know how to explain, but it's because your imagination has to fill in the spooky parts. I got a good imagination, so I'm good at filling in the spooky parts, and that's bad. Like, you hear things in horror like that. You'll hear you'll see shadows sort of flickering on the wall, and you'll hear like a munch crunch noise, and you'll hear it, but you won't see it, and you know what's happening. You know somebody's getting eaten, but you can't see nothing. So good, love it. Wreck is another one I really like. It's from Spain. It is the basis for Quarantine, which is an American version of it. But Quarantine, despite almost completely being shot for shot, is somehow really worse. I once again, I do not know how to explain the quality between Wreck and Quarantine. Quarantine isn't quite shot for shot, but somehow, like, what it changes makes it worse. I just can't. Though that said, the ending to Quarantine is different. I don't think it's more interesting, but I think it resonates with people better in its target market, which is the US. So there is that. Where the ending in Wreck is very, very specific to the time and place that it's made. Anyways. Yeah, that's what we should do. I got like a week to figure something out. Gonna have to figure out timing. It's gonna have to be like a Saturday or a Sunday or something. I'm glad you're having fun with the Wizard and Inscription. He's a delight. Anyway, if anyone has any suggestions for fun horror flicks that we can put, please tell me about them. I'll put a little post in the VIP chat. Also, side note, anything past, like, I'm willing to have movies that are a little rough, but please remember the subject matter can't be too much. We'll talk about that later, though. Don't worry. Like, oh, golly. Thank you for the follow, Real Matt. Ooh, Real Matt on guard. You know the whole shtick. Following the channel helps it grow and all of that fun stuff. Ah, delightful. And it puts me one step closer to being able to do this instead of having to have, like, a day job that isn't this. Which means I can put more effort and more time into it. Anyway, back to this.
The question now is where where was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing?
I've got something to say.
And you are?
Yeah, oh. I'm Cammy Meow. I'm a flight attendant. Her name is Chamomile, like the sleepy tea.
And what is it you wish to say?
Well, I think your story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
What? How can you be so sure of the time?
Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point.
Ah, the stop we made refueling and cargo transfer in Zhangfa, correct?
A message from Captain Ugo. This flight will be making a brief stop to refuel and transfer cargo in the Republic of Zhangfa between 4 and 5 a.m. We ask that all passengers remain on board at that time. Thank you for your cooperation. A present for our readers. Superb class juice to 10 of our lucky readers. Ooh, the finest the Mediterranean has to offer in grape juice. Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks.
And during that time, did any of the passengers leave or did any new ones board this flight?
No. Not a single person got off or on in Zhangfa.
What about the flight crew?
The few who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane.
So basically, I can assume that no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. I should keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you Mr. Acme Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m. Ms. Meal's testimony jotted down in my organizer.
Ooh, that's going to be important. Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15 a.m.
Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edgeworth?
I remember coming down here almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zhangfa.
Ah! You! You were here the whole time from 5, yes? Then you are the only one who could be the killer! Mr. Edgeworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards?
Unfortunately, yes.
But then, how do we explain the footprints? Is not that obvious? This man waited for Mr. Hicks here in this lounge. Waited to kill him! And then he put the corpse in the elevator. And then when the turbulence... that is when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimony may have been mistaken. But what time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. Because the entire incident concluded here in the lounge.
Everything happened in the lounge? Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc?
What? Do you have another idea?
I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Is there something that can tie this crime to a location other than the lounge?
Phone! Maybe. There is. There must be. Wait, so something had been dragged. Right? Is it the footprints again? Please let it be the footprints again. I really want it to be.
Take that!
These footprints, in which direction do you think these are headed?
Well, that would be the in-flight shop.
Correct. They're headed in the direction of the shop.
But they look disconnected. They end all of a sudden.
You're right to point out that they do not form one continuous trail to the shop. However, there is another piece of evidence that connects the shop to our crime scene.
Ah! Oh, right. It is this guy.
Take that!
The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there and is not displayed here in this lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious?
Such a trivial point. It only means you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. It doesn't prove you are innocent at all.
Is there no way to win with this man?
If I may. What is it? You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edgeworth says. Oh? And why do you know this so well? Well, it's just that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes.
And when was this?
It was maybe around 5:40 a.m.
Isn't that just before we hit that patch of turbulence?
That's right. You were in the shop just before the turbulence? Yes, I was.
Come to think of it. Miss De Niro, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door.
Yes, I did.
And what is beyond that door?
That's the flight attendant's room. Then you were on the first floor? Yes.
I had to do something at the shop and in the in-flight attendance room. So I went to the shop first and then to the flight attendance room. Are you saying you passed by me at some point? Yes. You seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by. I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there. Why did you go into the shop in the first place? I went there for a work-related matter. Work, you say? Yes. The upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities. Fiera, what should I draw? Good question. You're Blorbo. You're Surin Blorbo. She's tiny and cute and pink. And I need a guardian to keep me safe and alive or I'll die. Why did you not say anything about that now is what I want to know. In any case, I believe it's clear that the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then? What is it now? Aren't you, forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I've already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're all right. Huh? That's weird. What is? Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all. What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero? It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet, here you are. I'm back, and I finally found my throwing onion baby game. Yay! Pikmin! 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 I love those little guys. I might try to play Pikmin for all of you, but I get so sad and upset when even a single Pikmin goes down that I'm just like, no, my babies! I don't like them to get, I don't like that they're expendable. It makes me sad. They have little tiny souls inside. Dying for the cause, those little guys. Yes, Asura have sharp teeth. You are expendable. I'm not. I'm not. I'm still trying to attempt my first speed run at Hollow Knight. Good luck. Good luck on Hollow Knight. I'm not expendable. Stop. Stop, I'm not expendable. They say, who told you that? Of course you're not. You're the only one of your kind. Why would that make you expendable? If anything, that makes us expendable. Do you know what expendable means? No. Wait. Yes. Yes. It's an action movie. But I'm not in it. I'm too little. I need other DPS around to stand in the way of the damage I take if they weren't there. True. As a melee class, I am the person. That's me. That's my job now. Bonk. You know that they're taking away my ability to move forward on staff? Thief Staff 2 is going to be renamed to Weakening Strikes or something instead of Weakening Charge. And they're not going to let it scoot you forward anymore. Because they don't want me to dodge out and then scoot forward in. Boo! Gonna have to learn to dodge to the side. Like a real person. Anyway, you said you had permission to search all over, but you don't. And yet, here you are. You! Flight attendant! What are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us? The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. But don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way. Miss De Niro, why would you do such a thing?
Please excuse me.
Looks like I got to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you'd follow me, I'll be your guide from now on. There's something about Miss De Niro that has piqued my curiosity, but right now investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority.
Wow, that luggage. Whoa, hold up. Clearly something stolen here. And wow, that luggage. The Fleurs is where I'll find that cell phone, I think.
So this is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here.
You think?
Guess I'll have to clean things up then.
Hold on. You can't clean up a potential crime scene.
Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning so much. I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected.
I love how she's looking clean at us. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene.
There's a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit.
Is this still about the elevator thing? Yes. We are doing our best here.
Let's think about things. Okay.
Let's start with this luggage that I think is beautiful but is ugly as sin. And I understand that.
What are these? Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. They're practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world, you try, then buy. No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter. True. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they've boarded the plane? Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Captain Ugo hats painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he?
Oh, Captain Hugo.
They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you? It is certainly making something jump inside my stomach. Huh? Oh, I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. You looked like you really wanted to get one, and I thought I was gonna finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? But I never showed any interest in it to begin with. It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Ms. Rhoda. Miss De Niro designed this. Yeah, it was a company-wide contest. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Haha, sharp. Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh. Miss De Niro designed this, did she? That's definitely not what I would have expected. You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around has got to be a safety violation. Oh, yeah. Here, I'll put it back.
I want to examine that pink wheel.
Beautiful flowers and a beautiful arrangement. I feel cleansed just by looking at them. Wow, you're kind of stepping in a few of them, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, excuse me. Inside this display case is a row of lifesavers and vests for sale. We sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. But some people buy them even when there's nothing going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one? I sent this to this shop is one shopper away from being sued. There are all kinds of luxury name brand merchandise in this display case. And they're lined up in just such a manner as to scream, "Buy me!" to any passerby. Stuffed toys, just like the one Miss Meal is holding, are on display here. They're relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you're stressed. Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? There's a wide selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs for this trip. Okay, then how about you buy something for me then? As a present? I can't think of a single reason I'd want to buy you anything. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to me when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. The glass from this display case's door is shattered all over the floor. And it looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? A tiny captain's hat! I swear I've seen one of these before.
You have? I wanted to examine the wheel and the flower vase, but... Let's see if we've got anything to think about. That better connect. It's what he should be wearing. We did it!
The hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get it?
Really?
Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in this shop. Well, I don't. Ms. Rhoda's in charge of this place. So, come on, how should I know anything? I sense that further inspection of this display case is also needed.
Ooh, suspicious time. Let's start here with the... That's not obviously suspicious? Really? But come on, it's...
Oh, well. Is this the same man as the one portrayed by statues around the elevator? Yeah, that's a paperweight of the founder of Go You Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes. On the bottom shelf, we have the cute one. The middle shelf is the realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's the floral version. Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess. You just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like I hit the bullseye. The glass in the store is broken. Perhaps it was the killer who broke it in order to take the piggy bank. But it's a bit odd that the inside of the case is so devoid of glass shards. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly.
Ah!
What is it?
I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth. It hurts.
Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. Glass is on the outside of this. That is not right. Let's see. No, we don't have anything here. Do we have anything to... We must have something. But the culprit couldn't have shattered the display case to get it. Couldn't have at all. It's almost probably the Captain Hugo piggy bank.
But I gotta go refill the water, chat. I went to take a sip, and there isn't any. And I can't hydrate when you tell me to hydrate if there isn't any. So I will be right back. Okay. I know, right? I don't know what happened. It's probably I made spicy food. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, good news, I am back.
I'm gonna present this. It's what goes here.
Alright. We hydrate as chat demands. See, I went to go get more hydration for this.
Body break.
Something about eating extremely spicy food made me need to hydrate a lot. Anyway, time for a big stretch. Big stretch. Oh, that was very quick indeed. And then we will do bicep curls. Because we can. Okay. Whew. No, wait. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the other ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did it. So good at this. Okay. Who's next to be drawn? Oh, well, since you know what the uniform looks like and what he looks like, you could always take a stab at one of the Blorbos. The boys. Kind of know what they look like, I suppose. I haven't given anybody any references. Who knows what they look like? Oh no! Oh no! I don't want to disappoint. Oh, that's very sweet. Could draw you in the post uniform. I am an octopus. I would try to fit in it, though. In a hat. The littlest hat! Watch me very well.
There's definitely something very unusual about this. About what? If the killer had broken the glass to get the Captain Ugo bag, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope. No, there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over in the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'm willing to bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. That's nice. Which leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Ugo bank from here after the turbulence.
Ooh, we narrowed the time frame down. We narrowed the time frame down.
Idea, a non-canon code where you'd be a postmaster and I'm part of the government in some way.
The code that's in the story is actually the place I grew up. Legitimately, the places I'm describing are real. Yeah, the community center, that's a real place. That's what it was. The building that they go to, that's like the governor's, the government, that's real. The place where Mel is working when Callahan first meets her, that place with all the shelves and stuff in it, that's the library. They just repurposed it as an office space instead. Downstairs, you'll find food stores and stuff, because downstairs is where like the kitchen, like a lot of the kitchen stuff was, and the market is in the gymnasium, which is 90% of what it is anyway. It's a flea market. The post is also real. That really is our post office. I think that the turbulence shook the elevator so much that the guy in it died from being thrown around in it. Amazing! No, he really did get clonked on the noggin. I was also hoping he died in it from being, like, thrown around, but there's a missing phone, and he definitely got clonked on the noggin. Oh, wow, she's just straight up asleep. Cousin It. Cousin It today.
Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen when I'm talking.
Ah!
But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules out this piggy bank as the murder weapon. So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? That's a fake? Yes, at this point, that is a very real possibility. But then what if when the killer went to take Captain Ugo, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person who could have. Oh? And who would that be? Well, Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Miss Rhoda Tenero, huh? What a name. For security, there's a lock on the display case. Miss Meal, if I may ask you about this lock. The one who's in charge of the shop is Miss Rhoda, so she's got the keys to all the display cases. I see. Oh, I bet you want to buy something. Did you want me to go get the key from her? No, that's all right. All good. Wait. Go You Airlines related books line this shelf. The history of Go You Airlines. The future of Go You Airlines. The 7 wonders of Go You. Fight on, Go You Airlines! Working name, You Go Airlines. You Go You! The titles make it very clear that they won't be making the top sellers list anytime soon. Okay, I think we've examined this.
Yep, we're good.
I want to look in these flares. It won't let me look in the flares. The cell phone's probably in there or something.
Do we have anything to think about?
No, I think we don't. Oh, but I guess we must have something we were left to do. Because it won't let me leave. Wait, I saw that examination thing come up again for a second. I want to connect the suitcase to the turbulence. But I don't think it connects. I'm just going to try anyway.
Oh, it does! Good, good! Maybe that'll let me examine the pink wheel! She eepy. She very eepy.
Yes, there is definitely something wrong here.
Whoa, what's the sudden yelling?
Tell me, Miss Mule, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases?
Oh, well, sure. They totally ooze strange. Like, the color and the such.
That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention.
Ah, you're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper.
Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? But I guess they take after their creator.
Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Mule. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind, I'd sooner find an answer by inspecting these suitcases by myself. Upon closer inspection, they really are quite hideous.
I wonder how Miss Rhoda would react if she'd heard what you just said.
What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I've spotted something that's not quite right.
Finally! Guess that'll have to do. It's that pink wheel.
There's something very peculiar about these wheels.
Huh?
As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think that the turbulence would have sent it flying. And so, it's very likely that this suitcase was placed here after we hit that turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we?
Do I have a zoom?
It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside.
Whoa!
A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood.
Ah! It's blood!
It appears that this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all.
Thank you for refilling my bar video game.
So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder? I believe it's pretty safe to say that the killer used this suitcase in some manner. Such as to move something, perhaps? But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then? That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. The thing I believe the killer used this suitcase to transport is the body? Oh, wow. There's no blood in that elevator. Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? But, in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else, which means that the murder was committed in an entirely different location. So you're saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase in here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming in here for something. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments. However, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the 2 sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me of about Miss Tenero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. Oh no! Oh no! Yes, we will absolutely save our progress. Wait, we actually have to land at the airport? Oh, what a cutie. In the little pink outfit. Poor thing. Hope Springs Airport. Hope Springs. Hope do spring eternal. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. Who is this? I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Yes! Like I said, Francisca's here. I gotta remember her accent. I have been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Francisca von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I'd hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day. But a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame?
I mean, Manfred's responsible for a murder, lady! Your dad killed a guy!
Your dad killed a guy, and you're here like, darn, I never thought I'd see someone in my house be a criminal. Lady, come on! Francisca, come on! What are you doing? Have you no shame? Lady, your dad!
Ah, wait! It's all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until I have investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you, of all people. To be perfect in every way. The fulfillment of this creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir? Too slow. In case you ever wondered what she looks like when she's whipping somebody, or if she's actually whipping somebody, she is. Ow! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching the men. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I was supposed to guard him. A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. This poor man. Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me.
I love her little curtsy.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, Detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you.
Wait, is that salmonella? I think that's salmonella, guys. It definitely is. We're gonna talk to him in a sec.
So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case.
I'd say she was,
A little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy. As though she knew there had to be a murder or something. And had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Well, anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Looking from behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before.
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. In Soviet Russia, world flags, lunchboxes, eat you!
Mr. Edgeworth, we gotta get him some water.
Found it! Lol.
Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on! It's over 9,000! Lols! For my next Leap movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, versus the World Samurai, champion of Earth. It's gonna rock soar so many boxers! Phew, good thing it was a false alarm, right, Mr. Edgeworth? So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Completely ignoring me as usual.
Edgeworth! No wonder you've seen this man before, you giant nerd.
What have you of the planes preparing for takeoff? I want to ride a plane someday and go overseas. Have you never been to another country before, Detective? Nope, not yet, sir. I don't even have a passport. But I've been saving up for that eventual someday. A penny a day, to be precise. At that rate, he won't be making any trips until well after retirement.
Man whimpers.
Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. I've always wanted to give their steak lunch a try. What should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes. Only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. If you really want that one that badly, Detective, why don't you go ahead and buy one? Is that okay, sir? Thanks. All right, then I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take a Star-Spangled Banner lunchbox, please. I hope he's aware that's the most expensive one on the menu.
We're buying lunch for our detective.
Edgeworth is as much a fan of the Steel Samurai as I am a fan of Snargle Goldclaw. Oh no. Oh no. Val, I didn't know you were such a fan of Snargle Goldclaw. The best writer in Tyria. Listen. Man wrote Commander of My Heart. I'm sold. Sold. He wrote one about me. The Commander. I have it. It's an accessory. I keep it with me. It's a signed copy. I love it. Anyway, somehow I still haven't gotten the Festival of the Four Winds book. And I feel so bad about it.
Anyway.
This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. Well, I'd be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. This life vest is proof I made it alive. It's now my prized possession. How could you just take that from the plane? Ah, it's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least. Anything else to examine? I can't believe there's no one manning the counter when a murder has just occurred.
Ah, relax, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm here. I'll make sure nothing else happens.
You are precisely why I can't relax.
I love how it's got the little arrow pointing. Hey, Francisca. And the captain?
So, you must be the captain. Why, yes, I am. And who might you be? I'm the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Ah! Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Now see here! Ah! Sorry, I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you! Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it's you! Tell this man to stop stopping me from going! Time is money! I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Looks like we can't go beyond here, sir. Plus, the body has been sent off to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. There are a few copies of Sky magazine in the magazine rack. This one's special. Oh, looks like it's an English trivia quiz. Oh, I've got one! What starts with I and means boldly rude and disrespectful? The answer is most definitely insolent. Time's up! Sorry, sir, but the correct answer is insolvent. Detective Gumshoe, don't tell me your English ability is the same level as him.
It is insolent. In case you're curious. Some people might tell you ignorant depending on the dialect of English that they speak, but that is not correct. That is not what that means.
Did you finish taking his statement yet?
Yep, all done, sir.
I do not concern... I I do not concern if you are not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay.
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts.
Folk costumes. Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like the other piece of cloth.
Can I present this? Like, right now? I mean, that is what I thought immediately, but... Heck it, we ball!
Mr. LeBlanc, could you please take a look at this for me?
Oh? It's a Borginian cloth.
As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose.
Yes, of course. This fabric is so famous, orders come from all over the seas for more.
Then this has the cargo that you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved?
You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal.
The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room, too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero.
And he definitely is.
What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Miles Hedgeworth, you were given free rein to examine this plane, weren't you?
Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room.
Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances.
I understand.
You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool. You can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Hedgeworth.
Francisca! Please.
Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, and this very lounge where the body was discovered. And, from the times the victim was seen, calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This, unmistakably, makes you the likeliest suspect.
The likeliest suspect, Francisca?
Do you have a problem with that?
No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute.
I'm simply trying to vouch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast.
I can picture these two as little kids. Because Francisca's a bit younger than he is. I can picture these two as little kids. Can you picture them both? Like, sitting there at the table? Like, at the dinner table? Being like, it was you! And Edgeworth being like, what? And Francisca being like, you ate the extra dessert! Like the tiniest little children. Oh, it'd be so cute. Guess what's done? What could it be? Do 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 do.
The scene of the crime was here in this very lounge. That is not correct.
Hold it!
So tell me, Francisca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that is needed to know in order to arrest you, and nothing more. Are you saying there's more I need to know? Ah! Why did you whip me, sir? Sorry, Scruffy. My hand must have slipped. It would appear that Francisca doesn't have all the facts of this case yet. There's something I can present here. But what? Which one of these things is the correct thing to present? I'm doing it. Ah! Dang it! We got whipped so hard we got a penalty. There's no need to whip the evidence as well. Ow! Why did you whip me too, sir? One more victim besides myself and the evidence to whip to the... I know this isn't true!
Hold it!
That's also not true. Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. That fact alone does not make me the criminal. Ha! We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. However, there's one thing that even you must admit at this time. This unmistakably makes you the more likeliest suspect. There's something here. I can present something for sure, but I don't know which thing it is. Like, just to prove that I wasn't alone in the lounge.
Hold it! Objection!
No, that's not it. Can I use this here? I keep trying to use these things.
Objection!
Now I want the footprints. The footprints are the thing, and it just... Ooh, I'm ahead of the game again. Is it this? Okay, good. Okay. It's not the scene of the crime. We got it. We did it. We're a wizard. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Now who's so unrashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me. All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose the suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. Ah, you should know better than that. A phone karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there is proof of that! Where's the proof the suitcase was moved around? Oh, thank goodness it doesn't be that. Okay.
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator? Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Can I use the tire tracks or the footy prints?
Take that!
This mark here, wouldn't you say it looks suspiciously like tracks from 2 wheels?
Wah! I have been put into a uniform. Yes! Yes, good! Yes, good! We did it! You did it! And it looks like you even paid attention to what the Canada Post things look like. And everything! The detail! Did such a good job! And also the thing where you just grip the bag straps. Nervous? Not sure what to do with your hands? Don't fidget. Grip the bag straps. Grab at those. Makes it look like you're just adjusting it. And it also keeps you from signing random stuff. Yum.
This mark here, wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from 2 wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue in the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot.
Okay.
You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. And then, you waited for the victim in the lounge, where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence, and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Okay, that piggy bank had to fall out during the turbulence, though. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought up on the fly.
Just what are you insinuating?
Then I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop. Please let me present this, like, right away.
Objection!
Please let me present this, like, right away. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared.
Evidence and logic.
Essential tools that those who would stand in the courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix?
A fake?
This Captain Hugo Piggy Bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon.
What?
The timing of when the piggy bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
But then what about the blood on the piggy bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks.
You there!
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in the lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Sedgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Yeet! If the criminal had wanted to hide a weapon in a safer place, I'd think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene.
There's one more possibility.
And that would be?
That the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon.
But didn't we just...
Let me finish! The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door, and it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer has the key to the display case.
Francisca, the person you're talking about...
Not so fast. I am not finished. The person I am talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wished to speak with her.
Yes.
Very well. Permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other?
I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish.
Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
Wow, you can tell whose bed is whose! Like, immediately! Keep our cabin clean. Oh, button up! Say button up? Yeah, it does. Which shows us the professional style.
So, you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that?
Miss De Niro.
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. You're here too.
Can you please help us shed some light on why you did what you did?
All right.
What's with all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
Ah, that's our lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth. Gold crowns and swords and necklaces. It's like a treasure trove in here, sir.
The fact that these were left on the plane implies that they were carried on to it to begin with. Something tells me it's time for Go-U to send its metal detector out for repairs. And what's inside these boxes?
Oh, those are some souvenirs I bought in Borginia. There's so many! There's even a second box! Well, yes. I find that folk art from around the world does great things for my creativity.
Those suitcases certainly could have done with a whole lot less of your creativity. It's one of those suitcases designed by Miss Tenero. You can tell it's hardly ever been used by the lack of even a single scratch on it.
Eh?
I didn't mean to leave. I wanted to look at this. What exactly is this panel for?
Ah, that's the emergency control panel for the elevator. We used it to stop the elevator on the first floor and to keep its doors open.
No, we don't get to look at that. It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I'm most certain that the well-kept one up top belongs to Miss Tenero.
Ew, this bottom one is a giant mess.
You sloven, squalid scoundrel of a man! You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy? Yow!
Ah, there are some things in life best kept to yourself, detective. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that?
Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission.
What do you mean?
The captain, he only has ears for Cammy.
I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal.
Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends.
In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges.
Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness.
Miss Tenero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly.
Yes, I was.
And why were you there?
Well,
Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve. Francisca's here for the girls, yes. If there's one code Francisca follows, it's the code of law. If there's two codes Francisca follows, the other one is the girl code. As one does. Yeah.
all I did was go check up on the shop like I always do.
You're saying it was for work, then?
Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise.
After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct?
Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell.
Miss Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. Should we present the piggy bank? Or the suitcase? As long as it doesn't get me hurt.
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't know how to answer you.
Oh. If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Tenero.
Oh, that suitcase.
Yes, about this suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to that shop, isn't it?
There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there?
Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase?
Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there.
The last one there? Really? Really now? So when she went to the shop, that suitcase, there weren't two suitcases. Okay, and we know roughly when she went to the shop. Okay. So you're saying, Miss Tenero, that this suitcase in question was the last one?
Yes. They're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves.
That's not exactly the impression that I got. Look at her little smile twitch. That's the customer service smile flagging.
The one in the shop is most definitely the last one.
Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase.
Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one.
I didn't say anything about buying it.
Then say you'll buy it.
I'm sorry, I can't.
But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional.
Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous.
What?
Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on. My issue with the suitcase isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining.
Remaining?
There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it.
2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenero, what is one of those suitcases doing here?
That's...
I thought you said there was only 1 left?
that one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now.
She's used it for a long time. I think not. Miss Tenero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Miss Tenero says?
The price tag, I should think. It's still on there. Do you know how quick price tags come off of staff?
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tenero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase?
Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tenero, I think I understand. I know what you're trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally... I think this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. She's trying to hide low sales numbers. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was... She bought it herself, didn't she? Baby.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right?
Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. Oh no. No, sweetie, you don't have to... I've got more in you than that. Nope, wrong one. She's got more in you than that. Don't like it. Wow.
But the suitcase didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous.
I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either.
We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in, day out, so I decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see. So, in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well.
Yes, and here's the receipt for that purchase.
6:40 a.m. We can narrow down the time of death. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. Oh, sorry, 5:40 a.m. I couldn't read the tiny one.
The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight.
Ms. Tenero, where are these other suitcases?
They should all be down in the cargo hold.
Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
Ah! How could they?
Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss De Niro, is there any other way to get the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. And what about security? The door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is somehow someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francisca.
Going on these filed goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name.
And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells us the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard.
Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That other attendant, Ms. Meal, I asked her earlier and she had this to say.
Francisca got information out of Miss Meal?
In order to make the elevator go up and down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda De Niro, and only you. Ah!
What? Is that true, Miss De Niro?
Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us the card right now?
Yes, hold on. Ah! I don't believe it.
What's wrong?
The keycard, it's gone. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen, when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait! It's not like that! You can tell us what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth!
What's wrong?
There's disbelief written all over your face.
Francisca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case, however...
Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth?
I intend to do likewise.
Francisca's really on it. Oh man, we're still gonna be on this plane next week, aren't we? We sure are. Because would you look at the time? Alright, we hydrate as chat demands.
Body break.
In a big stretch. Big stretch. Yeah. I'll take you to Freckles. Get you some Freckle boot bucks. Alright. And let's go look for a place to go on adventures to. We're going on adventures. What have you got for me today, Twitch? Oh yes, don't forget that all of my streams next week are going to be the late time instead. Because why not? Because work! Ooh! Let's go see some spooky games, because it's getting close to spooky season. Exactly. Alright. Alright, that's it for tonight, everybody. We're gonna go on an adventure. Alright, thanks for playing along with me, everybody. Bye!